Hey there, friend. Welcome back to the channel where we don't just tell stories. We uncover the quiet truths that live inside them. If you believe in the power of storytelling to awaken, to soothe, and to guide, consider liking this video, subscribing, and sharing it with someone walking through their own storm. Every click supports this space and helps us keep creating these meditative journeys just for you. Now, let me take you into the stillness of a rainy evening, into the heart of a man named Rogers, a man who didn't try to fix the chaos of love, but chose instead to master himself within it. This is a story about Zen, Stoicism, and the quiet strength we find when we stop chasing warmth and start becoming it. It was a rainy evening, the kind that made everything feel heavier than it was. Rogers stood by the window of his small apartment, a cup of tea in hand, eyes lost in the gray drizzle that slid down the glass. Outside, the world was in motion, but inside, he was still. Have you ever loved someone who was fire one moment and frost the next? Someone whose warmth felt like a sunrise in winter, only to vanish, leaving you in a silence that echoed through your bones? This is the story of Rogers, a man who didn't fight the storm but chose, instead, to become the mountain within it. Rogers met Layla at a time when life itself felt like chaos. She was brilliant, magnetic, and unpredictable. Her presence felt like lightning, sudden, powerful, and unforgettable. Her love came in waves, crashing with laughter, spontaneous road trips, passionate nights under the stars, and deep talks that made the world disappear. But with every firestorm came a sudden chill. Without warning, Layla would retreat into herself, quiet, distant, and emotionally unreachable. Rogers, unprepared for the shifting tides, found himself trapped in a cycle of overthinking and overgiving, desperately trying to recapture her warmth each time it vanished. He blamed himself, questioned everything, and burned out slowly in the effort to keep her flame alive. Then, one quiet afternoon in the park, while staring at the ripples on a pond, he remembered a Zen koan he'd once read. The wild goose does not intend to cast its reflection. The water has no mind to receive it. In that moment, something in him shifted. He began sitting in silence, not to escape her, but to find himself. Rogers discovered Zazen just sitting, no fixing, no grasping, just awareness. He stopped reacting and started observing not just her, but his own mind, his own habits of attachment and fear. He returned to the Stoic teachings he'd once admired but never truly practiced. "You have power over your mind, not outside events," said Marcus Aurelius. And now those words didn't just sound wise. They became his compass. When Layla grew cold, he didn't panic. He let the chill pass through him, acknowledged the ache, but did not let it define him. And when she came blazing with affection again, he received it with gratitude, but without clinging. Slowly, his calm presence stopped being a silent plea for her love. It became a mirror, and in that mirror, Layla began to see her own storm more clearly. Their dynamic changed, but Rogers didn't fool himself with hope. He knew that love is not about fixing another's tides, but about mastering your own footing on the shore. And when the time came, when the patterns had run their course, and both had grown in ways neither expected, they parted ways. Not in anger, not in tears, but in peace. She thanked him for his stillness. He thanked her for teaching him impermanence. Rogers had learned that love was never about controlling someone else's temperature. It was about learning to stay warm in your own center, even when the world grows cold around you. Now, Rogers walks alone sometimes, but not lonely. He no longer waits for someone else to bring the sun. He carries it quietly in his chest. And so I ask you, if someone's fire and ice are throwing your heart off balance, are you trying to change the weather, or are you learning to become the mountain? Zen and Stoicism don't teach us to shut down. They teach us to open fully but without clinging, to be soft, aware, and steady. Like Rogers, your peace begins the moment you stop needing someone else's warmth and start kindling your own. If this story spoke to something in you, share it with someone who's caught in their own emotional firestorm. And if you're ready to hear more stories that don't just entertain, but awaken, subscribe. This is not just storytelling. This is the art of returning home to yourself. Thank you for walking through this story with me. If you felt seen, if something in Roger's journey echoed your own, don't let it stop here. Reflect, breathe, and most of all, share this video with someone who might need it right now. You never know what storm they're standing in. Your support means everything. A like, a comment, a simple subscription. Each one helps keep this space alive for quiet truths like this to be told. And if you're already part of this growing circle, thank you for walking the path with us. Until next time, stay rooted, stay gentle, and remember, peace isn't found in someone else's warmth. It begins in the fire you tend within.